And we are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome to this CPI data report. Today it is October 10th, 5:27 in the morning, 1 hour before the market opens. And the CPI data report should be released in the next 2 minutes. We do have it here. This is exactly where the CPI data report is going to be released. We're going to make sure that we break it down for you all. And then see how the market reacts. So the current expectation for that CPI data report for overall CPI is 2.3% rate of inflation, and core CPI to come in at 3.2%. So 2.3, 3.2. Overall CPI, core CPI. And this is to be released in the next 2 minutes. So we got about a minute and a half before this all gets released. So hopefully you guys can see the live stream okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions in that live chat. All right. Good morning. Good morning. What time is CPI? In 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Here we go. We have less than 1 minute left. It's 5:29 in the morning. 5:29. Initial job claims, yep, and continuing claims. How was Hawaii? Everything was good. It was a nice little trip with the family. So happy to be back, though. All right, 24 seconds. 24 seconds. We are currently slightly in the red for the NASDAQ market, but pretty much a break-even start to the day. Here it goes. 10 seconds left. Hope that I earn your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. CPI data report is out. Oh. Oh. Holy smokes. Check that out. Check that out. NASDAQ market in the red. Let's see if it continues. NVIDIA also pulling on back. Everything should be pulling on back. Check that out. TQQQ, SQQQ in the green, obviously indicating signs of an uptrend as NASDAQ begins to retrace. Here we go. Nice pullback. Let's see what we came in at. So it looks like market's reacting in a slightly negative way. Oh, we came in a little bit higher than what was expected for core CPI, and overall CPI, we came in, a little bit higher than what was expected. We expected 2.3. We came in at 2.4. So it looks like market's a little bit hotter than what was expected. Okay. You guys want me to break it down? We have about 1,000 of you guys here. Would you guys like me to break down that CPI data report? Just break down what went up, what went down. Yep. Is that cool? All right. Just make sure you guys drop a thumbs up on the channel or on the video. Let's go ahead and refresh this. So it looks like all items in September, a 0.2% increase. That's not bad. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do it. So again, these CPI data reports are released every single month. It's a monthly report. So that's the first thing that I want you to understand, right? Where is it released? It's bls.gov/CPI. So it looks like NASDAQ market is still slightly in the red, but it's not very significant. It looks like it overreacted. It's already beginning to show signs of a slight recovery. Again, the big focus is overall CPI and core CPI. Let's see. Oh, we have to refresh this. It has to be the new one. Oh, there it goes. So this is the one that's for the month of October. Initial claims and continuing claims were also released. Those are the people that are filing for unemployment for the first time for initial claims, 258K, which is a lot more than what was originally expected. Maybe showing, so if more people are filing for unemployment for the first time than what was expected, that could support the case that more people are in need of a job. So maybe a slowdown in our labor market, right? That's what this could highlight. And then we have continuing claims, also a lot more than what was forecasted based off of the prior week. So it looks like, again, more people are continuing to file for unemployment, therefore supporting the case that, yes, there might be a slowdown in the labor market because more people are in need of aid, right? So that's also one thing to take into consideration. That was also just released. So it was core CPI, overall CPI, and then these two job reports. Let's go ahead and break this down very quickly. So this looks like a mess. All I really focus on is, okay, remember, we just added the new month of September and we took away the old month. So what happens when you take away a big piece of the pie, right, of 0.4%, and then you add a smaller piece of 0.2%. Now, that's not exactly how it's calculated, but it's just I want you to have a rough understanding. The main focus for overall CPI takes away the old month and just focuses on the most recent 12 months. So again, you add the new month of September and pretty much take away the old. So therefore, you take away 0.4, you add 0.2, therefore you see a decrease. Does that make sense? So it says that all items in the index have risen 2.4% before seasonal adjustment. So that is overall CPI came in at 2.5%. And then when it comes down to core CPI, so all items rose 2.4% in the last 12 months, ended in September. And then we have all items less food and energy index, so that's core CPI, is 3.3% over the last 12 months. So it's also something to take into consideration. So all items less food and energy saw an increase of 0.3% in the month of September, and that is core CPI. So again, core CPI 3.3, overall CPI 2.4, and that is where you are seeing this core CPI 3.3. Expectation was 3.2, showing that inflation is just a little bit higher than what was expected. And then expectation for overall CPI was 2.3. We came in at 2.4. Again, just a little bit higher than what was expected. Just wanted you to understand why the market could be reacting the way that it is. Now that we broke down this actual piece, this line item, I just want you to understand, this is in the last 12 months, really the last 13 months, how inflation has been coming down. So all items, so this is overall CPI, is the blue line, and then the dotted line chart is core CPI. So it shows that core CPI, again, about 13 months ago was right around 4.1%. And then overall CPI was right around 3.7%. And then it shows month after month, the progression that each one has made. So again, overall CPI did make, another step down. We went from 2.5 to 2.4. Core CPI flatlined at 3.2 and made a jump to 3.3%. Doesn't surprise me too much, but definitely something to be aware of. That again, core CPI, which is the main focus for the Federal Reserve, is coming in a little bit higher and beginning to uptick than what was expected. So just something to keep a close eye on. So again, if someone were to ask you, hey, do you know what just happened with the inflation report? You could be like, yeah, overall CPI went down from 2.5 to 2.4%, supporting the case that inflation still is going down month after month based off of the last 12 months. But core CPI is the main focus for the Federal Reserve, and we went from 3.2% after 2 consecutive months of being at 3.2%, and we went up to 3.3%, showing that inflation might actually be upticking based off of the most recent report. So now these are the line items. These are the line items that are tracked every single month. And just so you guys know, NASDAQ market is still showing some signs of a descending pattern. So just something to be aware of. for the month of September. It was this line or this section that was just added. So it's very simple to read this. You just go across with these line items, and let me zoom in a little bit more just so we could all read this together. So it says all items saw a 0.2% increase. It says food saw a 0.4% increase. Food at home saw a 0.4% increase. Food away from home saw a 0.3% increase. And then we get to energy. Energy is always kind of like the big contributor to overall CPI. We saw a big decrease. This helped inflation actually come in lower than what it could have been. And you could see energy came in at negative 1.2. Energy commodities, negative 4 point. You have to think about that. These are like big contributors to the overall rate of inflation. And it's because we saw such a big drop in these prices that inflation came in lower than what was expected. So negative 4.0% lower than what was expected. We have gasoline, negative 4.1. Look at this. Energy services, we came in at negative 6. So this is saying that from August to September, the energy sector saw a big drop. Now, I don't know if I personally saw that at the pump, but that's saying based off of overall inflation, that is the drop that we saw. So this fuel oil and the gasoline saw a 4% drop. So again, something to take into consideration. And then it goes down to utility gas pipe services, and then all items. New vehicles saw commodities saw a 0.2% increase. New vehicles 0.2% increase. Used cars 0.3% increase. Apparel 1.1% increase. We have what is this? Medical care commodities saw a drop of 0.7%. Services less energy services saw a increase of 0.4%. Shelter 0.2% increase, 1.4% increase on transportation services, and then a 0.7% increase on medical care services. So if I were to ask you, hey, do you know what was the biggest contributor? What saw the biggest drop? And what saw the biggest increase in inflation for the month of September? You could be like, okay, well, based off of the most recent report, the biggest decrease that we saw was fuel oil that saw a decrease of negative 6%. And the biggest jump, the biggest contributor, the biggest increase, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be transportation services, saw an increase of 1.4%. So that was the biggest jump. The biggest decrease was negative 6%. That makes sense? Very straightforward, very easy to read, and it goes into the detail and then how this is actually calculated. Pretty straightforward, right? When you really break it down like that, you begin to see that, hey, it's actually not that complicated. You're really just focused on this because that was the new one that was just added, and then gets added to the overall calculation, and that's how they come up with the 2.3%. And then that's the overall rate of inflation on each individual line item. So it's showing that overall inflation is going down. It's showing that core inflation is going up very slightly, but it is going up from 3.2 to 3.3%. That's it. That's very straightforward, very easy to read. And again, this is all found on the official website of U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay? Very, very easy. I hope that I made it just a little bit easier for you guys to understand. And it looks like the market is reacting in somewhat of a negative way, with the NASDAQ market being down 0.6%. So I believe it's time to buy the dip. We'll see. We'll see if it continues and we continue to see some selling pressure, right? NASDAQ market is showing to be quite on the overbought side. So I hope that we begin to pull on back just so we can present some more deals. And we'll see if that selling pressure continues into the market open. We will be trading live today. And one thing that I always remind our beginner traders is that, especially if you're a little bit newer to this, right now the market could be selling off. By the time the market opens, we've often seen quick changes of direction. So pre-market, we might be selling off right when the market opens. Markets can begin to skyrocket. So I hope that doesn't happen because, again, those quick changes of direction can often hinder and catch a lot of beginner traders like on a bad side of a trade. Nonetheless, it's our job to be aware, not to try to predict or hope for something to not happen. When again, at the end of the day, it's up to the market. It's for us to dance with it, not to step on its toes, right? So I hope to see that the market continues to drop and it just continues in that same direction, making it easier for us. But again, we have no control over it. So we'll make sure that we talk about it in a little bit more detail in today's live trading session. So I do want to remind you, you can sign up for LPP right now. And if you want to tune on into my live trading session today, that just means that once you sign up, you log into the course, and then you will get access to our Discord within the first 3 videos, which is exactly where the live stream is linked. So if you do sign up for LPP right now, in the next 45 minutes, I will be going live right at market open. All I remind you to do is in the first 3 videos of the lesson library, watch them so you have a full understanding of how to access the lesson library, how to access the Discord, and where to access the daily live trading session. It's the second link in the description down below. And very, very quickly, I wanted to give you a coupon code so you could actually get 50% off for anyone that's interested in signing up. So I think the second link in the description down below is trying to give you $200 off. I want to give you $350 off, and you just have to use promo code half off now. So I'm going to type it in the chat, half off now, and that is the exact coupon code that you are going to use once you are signing up at checkout. So don't purchase it at full price. You can use half off now, and that will be $350 off the lesson library. So again, that's just going to be for you guys. It's not linked anywhere else. Again, you can sign up right now and watch me trade live right when the market opens. Other than that, thank you guys again so much for tuning on into our live CPI data report live stream. Excited to see how the market actually opens. And like always, hope that earns your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.